snacks.
What it do, snackers and snackers? It's your boy Gage. Jokes is in his building. What up, Joke?
As usual. What's good?
Sin is in his building.
Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
What's up, Sin?
I'm good. I'm good.
I love putting a smile on your guys' faces.
And we appreciate it. We appreciate it.
You know what? Strangely enough, I don't understand. I can't with you. Listen, this week we got some things to talk about. This, of course, is Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and talk about things that are happening in pop culture. And today, we are going to talk about the Arrowverse.
Yay.
Thereof. I don't understand. We're going to talk about New Mutants. And then we might stay on the subject for a while. There's some things brewing I feel like we need to talk about. So here's the thing. Every week for the last few weeks, we get together, guys. We do this, right, like normal, but we've had some pretty solid curveballs each week just to kind of, hey, let's take it in a different direction and just talk about something different real quick. Today's curveball. It's probably going to take like half the show. So.
Was that big? Okay, that's a curveball. Okay.
So let's do this. You guys, I'm sure, saw that so this week is normally when networks begin to start showing what's going to happen for their fall lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And we basically saw that all of the shows for the Arrowverse are being delayed until 2020.
Yep.
And so while it's look, we know what's happening in the world, right? We know that COVID is having an effect on all forms of entertainment. You know, sports are just now starting to pick back up. NASCAR's running now. Still trying to figure things out with some other sports and how they're going to do it. UFC's running pretty strong at the moment. No crowds or whatever.
Right.
So things are happening, but different.
Right.
But the world of entertainment that we usually discuss here is being affected differently because right now it is basically impossible to get together to film. You can't even really get people together to do voiceover.
Right.
So almost all the TV is being impacted. And I'm sure to an extent we had to see this coming. Are either of you surprised by this?
No.
Nah, sadly, I was hoping on for hope, but it's like when they said, I was like, it didn't surprise me.
Yeah, like with the state of the world and stuff like that right now, I'm not surprised at all when stuff gets pushed back like that. Like it doesn't faze me anymore. Like I expect stuff like that to happen now. It's just like
damn.
Exactly. Like damn. Oh well.
It's kind of a matter of getting an idea of when they expect for things to happen.
Yeah.
So here's my question to you guys. What do you think this year's Arrowverse crossover?
Smaller.
No. Sure.
Smaller.
They've already said it's gonna be smaller.
Just with a couple of things now. Like obviously with all this going on, it's like taking the extra time necessarily to film each of the episodes. Also now finding out, Ruby Rose is no longer playing Batwoman. I could take possibly now they're going to probably try to rebuild the show itself maybe before they do that crossover and have her back in with the rest of the members again. Who knows? They may not.
Yeah, very sad.
But I feel like
they said that Batwoman is stupid.
Say that again.
Yeah, he broke up a little bit.
Oh, they already said that that's crossover that Batwoman and before she exited the show that Batwoman and Superman. I don't know if the first one there.
Batwoman and Superman. Something's happening with your audio, and I'm not sure
Yeah,
exactly what it
make
is.
sure your
You're
pull not loose over there.
I haven't touched anything. I'm not touched anything.
Hey, don't move. Don't move. For whatever reason, while you're right
okay
there.
where you are. I don't know what it was, but you were. Yeah. So Superman. So this Superman and Lois.
Mm-hmm.
Batwoman. What do you think? Where do you think they're gonna try to draw the storyline? I mean, you have essentially done what
The
I would say is the
biggest.
biggest thing you can possibly
Yeah.
do anyway. How do you even top Prices on Infinite Earth?
At this point now, I don't think you want to top it, but obviously, as far as storylines that are already written in the comics, I don't think there's nothing necessarily that you could probably go after. I think maybe now would be the chance to try to do something original, and do something more of a special inside of the Arrowverse. Maybe that necessarily hasn't been done before. I don't know exactly what that would necessarily look like just yet.
Yeah.
End of the day, you could just have Barry run back and do everything over again. I mean, we could act like stuff never even happened again, but I think maybe trying to do something.
Is now?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Does that feel like
But
it's getting old to you guys?
what, say Arrowverse now?
No, just Barry running back and redoing again.
No, it does, but I mean, I feel like they must be bottlenecked. They can't figure out what they necessarily want to do other than have Barry go back and either mess something up or try to fix something and then mess it up.
Can't hear you.
I still can't hear me?
You're like super muffled. Yeah.
Just make sure your cord plugged in. Make sure it's not like loose or anything over there.
And now
I don't know. Your stuff not liking you right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa, that actually sounded pretty good.
Okay, how do I sound? Check.
That actually sounds pretty good right now.
Sound good now?
Yep.
Okay. I think they're gonna. I agree with you. More original crossover thing. They're smaller, but they'll try to do jokes. And I think they're gonna go to. I think they're gonna try to pull like a Civil War-ish type of thing, like a Batwoman, since that's in the world now, and maybe Supergirl or Superman, like have the world split apart and have like a versus between the shows type of deal. I think that might be a route they might be looking to go. But that's just first thing to wrap around my head. I still got to wrap up and see the endings of all the shows. But for right now, that's where my head is around as far as what the next crossover could possibly be.
Does it have to be something as big as what? I mean, obviously, again, we know it's going to be smaller. But I mean, like, does it have to be? Can it just be that, one or two characters happen to just cameo on an episode or two, a like to be continued episode or two of someone else's show? You know what I mean? Like, can that be all that it is? Would that suffice? That wouldn't suffice.
I mean, honestly, maybe like as much as we like having these crossovers, maybe the other idea would possibly be is to not actually necessarily do one every single season. Maybe you do it every other season, like going forward. Now, obviously, with Arrow out, that was one of your biggest players when it came time for it. But maybe you try to make it a bigger spectacle, but not making it every single season. Make it like once every 2 seasons, or try to make it one of those things where like it randomly occurs. Maybe the storyline starts to build, and then we start seeing things like, wait a minute, if this is happening here, shouldn't this necessarily go over to like Batwoman, Supergirl, whatever it is? Maybe they do smaller variations where it's only like, say how you're saying, maybe it's Flash and Supergirl, Batwoman, Supergirl. Maybe we only see it as in that variation of it, and maybe not necessarily everybody, because like the Legends now seem like they're kind of still the, I don't want to say the stepchild, but it's like since they kind of exist out of time per se, like they're always an anomaly. So it's like, oh, we were in the year 2035 or something doing this while you guys were back in 2020 fighting that big bad, but we did see that it got handled well, so we didn't bother to come back and try to help out because everything worked its magic and everything was fine.
I'm of the mind that they should maybe wind the cross, or only use them for the possibility of a new show into either a
To the
normal
universe.
or a new show into the Arrowverse. That makes sense. I'm not. In a lot of ways, I don't care. To be honest, but I know that it matters to a lot of people. So I'm just asking, like, what do you think that looks like? Let's change gears.
Is his camera fixed? Because Ellis is asking, is his camera fixed? He said Gage needs to
I
fix
think
his camera.
no, I think he was being funny.
Okay. I'm
Pretty sure he was being funny. That's why he said, "Whoa, did Geek Squad go to Gage's home and fix his camera?" I'm pretty sure he was being very funny about
Nah,
that.
yeah, I'm sure what he's talking about is probably how it used to be, the skinny instead of being the as he'd be. What up, DJ?
Yeah.
L.I.
And if it's that way, I just did a little fun thing with his camera, so
Yeah, so yes,
yeah.
no. Hey, look,
It's fixed, but it's not quite fixed. But hey, it works.
New Mutants got a new date,
Mm-hmm.
August 28th, coming to a
Uh
theater near you. Let's start
Mm-hmm.
from one spot. Do we believe it?
Nope.
Okay.
huh. Yeah, I'm on the same boat as of right
You don't
now.
believe it. Why don't you believe it?
I'm optimistic. I think that's the date they're putting out, hoping and praying they want to get it out ASAP. I don't think COVID's gonna let that happen yet.
Let me say it this way. I I'm on the fence. I feel like with the way things are starting to change, not biggest things, but talking about reopening theaters and trying to limit the amount of people. I mean, they're doing it with like retail environments and type things right now. So, do I see it possibly happening? Yes. Do I think it's necessarily at the time going to be the best thing? Probably not. Depending on where we're going to be in the next 2 months. Um, it's just a weird. We're still in that weird funk of where we just don't know how things seem like they're starting to get better, but at the same time, it seems like everything is still really in the same place where we're at.
I mean, this effectively puts this movie a month out from when Mulan is supposed to come out. We don't
Sounds
believe
about right.
Mulan is out. What time is that? Here's what I really want to. What is the holdover? Why are we? This movie was supposed to be out over a year ago. Okay, we pushed it back and gave it April 3rd release date for this year. Pushed it again. Reshoots are supposed to be happening. Blah blah blah. That's not happening. August. What is the whole? Why don't they just put this out digitally? What is the reason behind even making the attempt to take a movie that has been completed
Mm-hmm.
and force it to release in theaters instead of just the speculation has been so high for so
Right.
long. You know what? They're just gonna drop it digitally. Let's do it and call it a day.
And be done with it.
What is the holdover? Why are they trying to put this in theaters? What do you think?
One or two things I can think of is one, they are not trying to burn the bridge with theaters, and they're like, hey, look, we're gonna follow the proper way things should be. We're gonna release it in theaters first,
I,
digital.
I'm a stop you there only because if there's anybody who has the strength to override that kind of BS, it's Disney.
Oh no, I agree with that. I 100% agree with that.
Disney can, maybe again, you might be onto something in terms of like, man, look, if Disney does it and overrides it or whatever and doesn't give
Then
everybody else is just going to do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because they just have more pull, more strength than everybody else. So maybe.
Possibly. And the other thing would just be is they're just trying to get that theater money. Like, I don't see what
theater money?
I really, like, I guess pulling it there, like, I don't see what the big thing is for, like, going digital. Clearly it works, and just releasing it at home. I get it. When Trolls came out, like, everybody's still home. What am I talking about? But, like, I just, it's hard to really put your finger, because at this point now, it's like, do it digitally. The movie was supposed to come out years ago. Obviously, scrap whatnot ever, push forward to now. The whole theater situation, like, it's a hard thing to try to figure out what there's something. I don't want to say there's something as this movie is trying to create some type of anomaly or something. I don't know what is entailed in this movie that's making them just want to hold on for this gasp of air or something with it. Because at this point now, like, I'm sorry, throw that bad boy digital, people are gonna buy it. I know it. Like,
is there any thought for either of y'all? Let me just, you know what, scrap that. I think there has to be some larger tie-in to the MC.
Like, since they tied it to the MCU, since they came out and say, yeah, this is tied to the MCU now, they're trying to get it in the theater with that pre-COVID thinking of everybody's going to go out to see it, everybody's going to go. It's going to be this big wow factor when they see how it ties into everything else in the theater and get all that publicity and all that kind of stuff. Instead of just, they're trying not to go with the download it at home and watch it on your couch. They're desperately trying to get in the theater to watch it.
I feel like there must be, having finally basically taken over the rights, you know, after the purchase of Fox. Because again, Disney didn't really spend their own money shooting this.
Right.
Now, they paid a lot of money to get all of the assets in the long run that this is a part of. They didn't really spend their money shooting it. To me, there either needs to be or must be some existential tie to the rest of what's happening in the MCU that they feel like if they don't get it out to theaters, it will diminish the feeling of what the MCU is. You know what I mean? Just like, if you are getting something that does correlate or is tied, if you take this movie and you release it straight to video and you don't have a theater experience for it, then it ends up being more like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to the rest of the MCU than a film that's part of the MCU to the rest of the MCU, which could then impact whatever additional plans they have for mutants and their introduction into a world that up until this point
didn't exist.
Isn't a thing. I mean, do they retcon Scarlet Witch? Was she a mutant?
I feel like I hope they don't like just try to, like, I would love to see that be the House of M somehow, like they do that aspect, but do I see the fact that maybe they'll just try to cop it out and just say, like, this is going to fix everything, and we're going to say, oh, Scarlet, you really weren't enhanced. You were found, you had these abilities, and they just started telling you, oh, we did such and such and such and such to you. You have us to thank for that, and you have all these abilities, when realistically she had them already.
After credit somewhere or something like that, saying, oh, she used to be a patient there or something like that. Like, oh, you know.
That was where they kidnapped her brother from or something like that, right? That, like, I mean, it's a possibility.
But or it
House
could be
of M
also
without a Wolverine and without a Professor X will not feel right.
would be a little bit weird.
Out
But still talking about New Mutants. Ellis was like, they're trying to adjust the trash level of New Mutants so it doesn't kill people or destroy equipment.
Might be too late for that too. That joint might be, I mean, it does seem like with the slate of films they have that they're beginning to go a different direction as far as like the scarier stuff, slightly more adult stuff, and their ability to lean into that, but also use this as an introduction could just be partially key to that. That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, I feel like they would see a relatively decent amount of success. They were just to release this to home. But we'll see. I feel this is one of those things, man, where I feel like if it doesn't get to a place, the world does not get to a place where they can realistically release this to theater on that date, that the next date we get, whether it is the same date or not, will be
it's gotta be digital.
You know what I mean? It'll just be, we're wrapping the theaters. Hey, listen, man, y'all about to close anyway. Y'all can't even survive this. Y'all might as well just go ahead and let it go. We're about to drop this. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Curveball. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Check this out. We are about to establish history right here, right now. Okay? Please prepare yourselves. Do me a favor, Stan. Give me a mic check 1 2.
Mic check 1 2.
Okay, you sound pretty good. Pretty good.
All right, I'm not touching nothing.
I'm not touching nothing. Nothing. All right, this is gonna take some time. Here's what's popping. We getting ready to lay down some ground rules, and here's what's happening. I am no longer willing to debate with people in any community what constitutes a superhero and what does not. We are about to definitively decide what constitutes a superhero. Okay?
Okay.
Now, not too long ago, I went on a very serious rant that took over a show about Batman and his abilities. But here's the thing. I need to know. I want to hear from each of you. What do you think it is that qualifies a character to be a superhero? Jokes, you first. What are the criteria one must meet? What constitutes a superhero?
So I'm gonna say one is overcoming, massive obstacles to whether it's saving, preventing some type of catastrophe, saving people, and I don't want to necessarily say you have to have superpowers, but I think it's something that has to happen that's necessarily not in the norm, if that makes sense. So, not necessarily. Nope.
I'm gonna stop right there and say I think you have to have superpowers, but continue.
Void jokes. But it's definitely being able to achieve some feat that necessarily is not the common or not the norm. So not just I'm trying to think of something. I just washed my dishes. Like, I don't think you really would call someone. Look, when I compare apples to orange, like, I'm gonna compare some things. So
okay.
I'm gonna compare. So washing dishes or something like that necessarily wouldn't be considered being a hero, but you possibly, hey, I'm going to. I'm trying to think of how I can. There was a comparison there for a second, and then that just
you lost it because you said washing the dishes. Sin. What constitutes a superhero?
I kind of agree with Jokes. I think whoever you are, they need to push themselves beyond limitations. Whether that's you gain some type of ability, or you are like Batman and Oliver Queen, where you're just more badass, Usain Bolt fan. Like you just have something. You push yourself beyond, what I'm saying, normal people's limitations. And I feel like you have to deal with something global catastrophe, and you have dealt with it and came out a winner on the other side of it to be categorized as a super hero, not just a regular hero.
Okay, let's take that. I like those answers. Here's where I'm at. I personally believe in order for you to qualify as a superhero, you must have superhuman abilities. Period. Must have superhuman ability. When I say that, that does mean Batman's not a superhero. Doesn't mean he's not part of a superhero team. Doesn't mean he hasn't done very superheroic things, but that he does not qualify in the super level of superhero, and here's why. As a standard human being, Batman does not have any abilities that are superhuman level. Mm-hmm. He has heightened ability. So that means Batman, Hawkeye, Green Arrow, maybe Zatanna, maybe, not technically superhero. Batman, as an example, Batman's rogues gallery of villains aren't even really super villain. They don't really have superhuman abilities themselves. There's a couple. Killer Croc. Is Killer Croc a metahuman?
I think they said that I believe they said he was a meta.
He might be. I'm not positive about that. I know he's Leatherhead from the Ninja Turtle. Same dude. Mutant, skills, power, whatever. But here's the other reason why this is where I'm at. There are characters that exist in universes that are not comic book, that have abilities very similar to characters that are in comic books that we don't necessarily consider superheroes. So let's take He-Man. Not really a superhero. Like, for all intents and purposes, if you said to somebody, list superheroes, even if you know He-Man, you're not going to list him as a superhero. Why do you think that is? It's because he does not live on Earth. He does not exist in our realm, in our plane. Most superheroes we see as characters that exist in a galaxy that is something that is akin to our own. So while Gotham City is not a real place, it is representative of a real place on Earth, right? Thundercats could be superheroes. They live on an Earth. They don't live on Earth. Lord of the Rings. In those realms, that mystical, magical Dungeons and Dragons type realm, the things that people can do are regular. Like, all elves have some level of heightened ability that is different from what other levels of creature can. So you wouldn't necessarily consider Legolas a superhero. Almost in the same way that Superman would not be a superhero on his own planet, but he's a superhero on our planet. You understand what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense? So, if you don't have abilities that, again, would be categorized, like if you pull up a character and you look at their bio and none of the abilities they have are superhuman, they're not a superhero. Batman is a glorified police officer / firefighter / military veteran, because them dudes and ladies are heroes all the time. Somebody goes in a burning building, pulls a human out, you a hero. Does that make you a superhero by superhero standards? Nope. So, that's where I'm at. What do you think about that as a whole? I cannot hear you because you moved. Yeah.
while he tries to fix that. I mean, definitely good points. So I could definitely stand behind how having the super abilities, going from something that not typical human would actually be able to do. Sound pretty good right there.
Okay.
So same thing will qualify how you talk about Batman would be the same thing as like an Iron Man. I know someone mentioned him. Like Iron Man yes, granted my man's smart. He's smarter than many average people that's out there, but his ability, he can make stuff and then he just makes himself strong or whatever. But
yeah, like
Tony Stark is
Tony Stark, like the list of abilities for Tony Stark, like he's not superhuman intellect. It's not superhuman intellect. He's just smart level intellect. You understand what I'm saying? But not like superhuman level intellect. So there are people on the planet who are as smart as he is. Period. Now they didn't do what he did. They may not have the money he has, so they didn't have the resources to maybe do what he did. But technically, anybody can be Iron Man if they have the suit.
Right.
Period. So is the suit a superhero? I guess. Is that joint?
I guess it's kind of how like he got an Avengers. More so
a weapon than it is, right? Like Iron Man is a weapon, not a superhero. Captain America, superhero. Yes.
Yeah.
Black Widow, not a superhero.
She's just normal. She
heightened abilities, crazy fighting skills, whatever. Not superhuman.
Right, you take down a supervillain, you become a superhero.
You do what? Say that again.
I said, if you've taken down a supervillain, you earn the title of superhero. Like as much we joke about Batman and all the, he can take down Darkseid and he does all this stuff or whatever. Like for the things that he's done after he gets the title,
he just outsmarts them.
Doesn't matter. He took down a supervillain.
He outsmarts them. The only reason he took down Darkseid was because he had my man's codes and he was going to blow up the whole planet. Darkseid said,
is a thing he would not / could not do if he did not have superheroes on his team.
That's all fact.
Cannot hear you. Cannot hear you, dude. I feel like whatever you said was classic and funny. Missed opportunity. You got to stop shifting and shucking and jiving over there.
Jive turkey.
Yeah.
Stay still.
Maybe lean forward. It seems better when you lean forward. Check. Yo, Mike, you can't just lean forward and I'm looking at you like, oh yeah, that sounds Nah.
Check.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. I'm saying, for what we've seen, Batman would have figured out a way. He's what we tease him about. He'd have figured out a way.
Sure, and look, but again, that basically makes him a firefighter / military grade special ops / police officer with way better resources than anybody else. But not that he's a super hero. Hero, sure. Superhero, nah.
Batman, the superhero title. I mean, he's the only human on the Justice League. Like, if you can stand up with the rest of them,
you're not the only human.
You know what I mean? I'm thinking of like the core, like.
Listen, I hear what you're saying because I understand, but Batman is a member of that core because of where he stood in DC Comics at the time the Justice League became a thing. Not because, as a matter of fact, they have had to fake implement new abilities, whatever, for him because he can't actually live up to what the rest of them do. That's part of what the problem with Batman is. If you look at, even for real, even before that was a thing, the thing about Batman that could make him a hero is the magic in his fake utility belt. Oh man, I got captured by the Penguin. First of all, you can beat Darkseid. How'd you get captured by the Penguin? Shut your mouth. Two, nah, no such thing. Because Batman doesn't have off nights, right? Because
nope.
You see what I'm saying? So, but It don't matter that he got trapped and he's dangling by his feet over top of Shark Tank because my man got bat shark repellent in his utility.
Oh yeah, ready to go.
Which is just something they made up in order to get him out of a situation they just decided to write him into. They just write him out. That's what Batman is. He seems superior in terms of intellect because they would just write him. Well, we'll just give him a new bat thing that undoes bad thing. You understand what I'm saying? That literally is the whole strength of Batman. That's not superhero. And again, majority of that, people, villains, characters that he's dealing with, he never deals with true super villain level villains until he's with the team. Prior to that, Joker ain't no super villain, just a maniacal, crazy, wild clown dude. Riddler ain't no super villain, just a dude who like to try to trick people and really wants to outsmart this guy who already seems like he's smarter than him. What's Penguin's superhuman abilities? Can he talk to fish?
Penguins,
I don't think so. Can he talk to birds? I know he has a lot of birds around, but I know he tells them what to do. But I don't know if he can actually hear them. Like, if he understands the language. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying that, like, I know you want Batman to be a superhero.
I personally think of him as a superhero because all of the comics.
I understand you do. We trying to fix that.
Hey, I just think it's valid. That's all.
Is Doctor Strange a superhero?
Honestly, I can't speak. I never read Doctor. All I know from Doctor Strange is the movies.
But
but still, you can use that. But he has magic, so I mean, like technically,
I give him a superhero.
He's a human, and that's not something that a human can do. And I mean, he can use said magic because he doesn't necessarily need anything. After he learns spells or whatnot ever, it's pretty much at his arsenal to use. So it's not like he has that other than like having the cape to fly. But other than that,
other people, just regular people, who can do the same things Doctor Strange can do. But they can't do them at the level he can do them at. But there are other people who can perform magic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a thing. Thor, even by standards of Asgard, Thor is more powerful and can do things that other people from Asgard, other Asgardians can't do. Then he comes to Earth, slim as a god. That's superhuman. That's about as superhuman as you could be considered. You understand what I'm saying? If you were to line up Batman's accomplishments with, say, Thor's accomplishment, right? They probably jive like neck and neck, which is kind of stupid, but probably are. As a whole, Batman is an incredible human being with a lot of money. If anything, it is his money that actually is his superpower. Like, that response that he gives to Flash in the film would be the closest thing to him actually having a superpower, because he's got more money than 99.9% of the rest of the population. Like, when you are in the 1%, right? And you can do things other people can't do, even physically. Like, he can physically do
wouldn't that make him
other
super then?
Can't do. But
wouldn't that make him super then at that point? Because he could do stuff that other people do because he doesn't have all that money. Wouldn't that make him super at that point?
Only if you consider having money an ability. Is it an ability? If he was broke, could he do what he does?
Maybe not. Maybe not have the Bat Cave and the Bat.
Not to that level.
Not even. Not at all.
Yeah. Not to that level, he couldn't do it. No, I'm saying I'm agreeing, like, not to that level. Yeah, he couldn't do it.
Yeah. If Batman didn't have money, he couldn't be Batman. Like that's a
He could.
no. He could be Kick-Ass,
I'm pretty sure he
who
can
is
scrounge.
also
I'm pretty sure he can scrounge up enough cash to get a decent bat suit. Like, he can still be Batman.
nah. I'm
Yes.
saying, listen, don't get it twisted. We know people who work regular jobs every day that make dope outfits. Sure, he could scrounge up enough dough to make an outfit.
They get a Batman outfit.
How many of those people that you know, like I do, would you say could do what Batman does?
Not a damn one of them.
All right, that's cool. Why?
They're not Bruce Wayne.
What kind of answer is that?
Incorrect. It's because they don't have Bruce Wayne's money as you know it. Because even with the level of training and skill and whatever that he has, it is his money that afforded him the ability to do any of that. I'm just saying. So.
All right, that's all. I'm just I had to go catch up.
Huh?
I was catching up on the comments. They just on fire right now.
They having a hard time. Well, speak on it. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about the folks in the comments. That's what this is. You know what I mean? That's why we live.
So Doctor Strange is a superhero. Then Zatanna should be as well, right?
Okay.
Let's see.
I'm with that.
Batman has borderline superhuman strength, and he and Tony Stark have superhuman intellect that few humans have. They both saved the planet and galaxy. They're both considered geniuses by universal characters in the universe.
Genius doesn't make you superhuman. It makes you genius. There are regular humans that are genius. And borderline superhuman isn't superhuman. It's borderline.
The only time I would say Batman was superhuman was, I forget which comic that was, where he sat in the chair
and it gave him
like God. Yeah, that was probably.
You know what he did with it? He said, "Who's the Joker?" That's what you do. That's how regular human he is. My man got God power and sat in the chair and was like, "Hey, dog." Because again, this is the dude with the most powerful, with what you would say is an intellect that rivals almost anybody in the DC universe, right? Mm-hmm. He's superhuman levels, whatever, superhero. This dude couldn't tell over 50 years that there are 3 different people who are the Joker. Stop playing with me. We're not doing this no more. Stop playing with me. Slip foot.
Hey, I gotta go with Rob. Hey, look, I gotta go with Rob. This dude Rob said, just to clarify, Batman does qualify as a superhero under the Webster Dictionary definition.
And listen, and as cute as that is, that's why we're redefining this right now, right? But because along the same lines, like if you was to look at what Webster's Dictionary says, you wouldn't necessarily see that somebody like He-Man qualifies as a superhero.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
So the question is, why wouldn't He-Man qualify as a superhero? And the only thing that I can think of that would keep him from being that is because He-Man lives in Eternia, which is a completely false, where like things and the abilities that characters have in that world are part of the norm. Even though you would think after this many years, the fact that mutants do arrive, right, and that aliens do exist, that would kind of be normal to people. If somebody is 13 and becomes a mutant, that's not cool to people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, yo, that's not normal. You know what I'm saying? How come your hands are on fire or whatever it is you can do? That's not normal. You are now something more than human because you are Homo superior as opposed to Homo sapien. DC came up with the meta gene to try to explain why people have abilities that other people don't have. Like even Hal Jordan, who is, for all intents and purposes, not superhuman. The ring itself is what provides him his power, but the ring chooses the person who gets to have that power. So anybody who is imbued the ability to be a Green Lantern, by default, takes on the mantle of being a superhero for the power that they give. But bear in mind that as dope as Thor is, all of what Thor can do is not directly tied to Thor's hammer.
Mm-hmm.
He has it, which is the thing that's the strangest about why is it that if Thor is the god of lightning, even without the hammer, why is it when somebody else gets the hammer, they get his abilities?
I guess if we use from movie standpoint, it was just because Odin put that enchantment on the hammer. It was like, thou shall raise the hand and have the power of Thor. Right. But
that
otherwise,
wasn't an enchantment that existed on the hammer when he got it. So the hammer itself doesn't provide him his ability, right? So for anybody else who maybe picks up the hammer, if you are worthy to pick up the hammer, it's like you put on Iron Man's suit. You are effectively Iron Man if you're in the suit. But you don't necessarily become a superhero just because you have superhuman abilities. You do have to do something heroic.
Right.
But Spider-Man going into a burning building and pulling people out is not more heroic than a firefighter going in. I'd say, if anything, it's actually less heroic because he has powers. But that doesn't imbue the firefighter as a superhero, just a hero. So if Batman goes in a burning building and pulls somebody out, dude's just a hero. Because he in that joint with no powers. So is he a hero, and does that by default make him almost better than the rest of the superheroes? Sure. Does he qualify as a superhero? I'm going to say no. Can we categorize him as something else? Sure. Let's make something up. I almost don't care what. You pick, Sin. I don't care. But man, can't nobody hear you, dog. So now your points don't count. You sound like
any point that you had a smart remark that could have possibly been absolutely funny is just gone. There's no recovery.
There you go. I got you. What were you about to say? What were you saying?
No, I said I just of Batman's accomplishments, I still give him the superhero mantle. Everybody in this same bracket don't get that, but his accomplishments, he's earned it.
He has earned the superhero bracket. Would you have not said that Batman was a superhero prior to him joining the Justice League? Because initially it was like, this a dude who took down a supervillain. That supervillain is somebody as big as Darkseid, but he don't fight Darkseid without the rest of them. It ain't like Batman. We would joke that, like, if it came down to it, he would go deal with Darkseid. But his plan to deal with Darkseid would absolutely always involve someone with superhuman abilities. He's not going and taking Darkseid down by himself. Because he can't.
Hey, he can build one, like he built his armor to take on Superman. I mean, shoot, he probably get smart and he could build one to take on Darkseid.
So he did that and he took on Superman. You know who he had help him? Ollie, the other dude without any powers, who shot that dude with a kryptonite arrow. Even though he had that suit, my man had a plan and he got somebody else to help him. Call my bluff. Oh, all right. Oh, all right. So look, I understand the mental. If you walk up to anybody and ask them, "Hey, is Batman a superhero?" They're gonna say yes. We're the ones who have to say, you wrong. You not really.
So I understand. Can Goku be a superhero?
No.
That was the question. I just saw the one. What about Power Rangers?
I mean, here's the thing. Again, if by the standards that exist, right? If you take a Goku, right? Goku exists in a world that they say is Earth, but isn't Earth. So I feel like that world exists in the same place that, like, Third Earth with the Thundercats exists, or a Lord of the Rings exists, right?
Okay.
Because you don't just have, like, the acceptance, like everybody else on that, nobody else can really do what he does. Like, that would be like to a certain extent, it would almost be like,
wait,
Krillin.
Then I was about to say, wait, in that case, would any of them be considered superheroes then? Because they're what?
superhuman abilities as a human, and Goku is an alien. If you were to take that world, I would say that in the world of manga, because we don't, for whatever reason, we don't normally look at manga the same way we look at American comic book. Because manga, I mean, it seems like the way they build that world exists outside of what is, like, what's normal for them isn't, like, their cars ain't even normal cars for us. Like, what them joints look like and what they like, they not even, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. World, if that world's separate from like what our Earth is like, isn't he? Wouldn't you consider him a superhero in that universe, in that world?
Yes, I would say yes. You would consider him a superhero by those means under that circumstance. You would. Because, like, Chi-Chi can't do what they do. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
so then hold up, because then that let's go back to your definition of superhero then, because that wouldn't, because he's an alien, so because he's coming from another planet, you wouldn't necessarily consider him to be a superhero because he pretty much has those abilities.
I didn't say Superman wasn't a superhero. I never said Superman's not a superhero.
He's not a superhero on Krypton.
Yeah,
right.
I said on his planet.
Yeah, like, he's not a superhero.
Yeah.
But on Earth he is.
If you take Superman and you put him on Krypton, he's the same as everybody else. Which is why Supergirl bangs harder than he does. It's just, you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's a known thing. She's stronger than him. Ugh. I'm just saying, like, that's, you know, yeah. Superman absolutely counts as a superhero because he is designed to exist within our world. I don't think Goku exists in our world. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain level of suspension of disbelief you have to give, but like the characters in like the DC universe and in the Marvel universe are by design supposed to be people that live in our world. It's supposed to be believable that they exist in our world with the abilities that they have. Goku doesn't come off as that at all. None of them come off as that at all.
And I mean, what would set Goku so far off from Superman? Because I mean, I get it. He's on Earth.
It's the world. It's the world. I know that it's an Earth, but it ain't our Earth. You understand what I'm saying? It's kind of like, it's kind of like in the same way that, like, if you pull characters out of Lord of the Rings and brought them here, like, they live in a place where like orcs is normal. Like, they live there. That's their whole world, though. It's not some separate mystical, you know, whatever that exists even within Earth, the way that Asgard technically exists. You know what I mean? Within our known universe. Those universes exist in our universe. So we are defining them as being something other than human or having superhuman abilities compared to our own.
Would you agree, in that world, people might consider them superheroes? Like how bards tell tales about them and sing songs about these heroes, all type of stuff.
Right. Like if you right now, like, is Goku a superhero?
Yes.
If you just think about whether or not he qualifies as a superhero in your own mind, the answer, generally speaking, is no. Even though he does crazy heroic things, saves the world, saves the planet, that does, just like our heroes, he does as much damage as he does, you know what I'm saying, saving. But his world isn't the same as our world. Like, it doesn't, for all intents and purposes. Like, if they do it, when they try to, the reason why a Dragon Ball movie live action doesn't work is because they try to make it seem like it's our world, and it's not. It don't fit the aesthetics of what our world is. But when you take Batman and you do Batman Begins and you start going, this is what this would look like, it's easier to do, I think, in that realm because he doesn't have powers and his villains don't have powers, right? Like, even when they did put Bane in it, Bane has something that he uses to give himself super, but they didn't do that in the movie. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't a thing. So, as the MCU has as they've introduced people with superhuman abilities into that world, it still seems believable. Is that right? What you laughing at, jokes?
I'm laughing at the
comments is fire.
Oh yeah.
All right. So if
man.
what are we trying to? If Dragon Ball's world, Goku's a hero. If in Lord of the Rings world, people would consider them superheroes and Goku's superhero, then they're categorized as superheroes.
Consider them superheroes in
Lord. Well, I'm just using like within that world and that world, the way that world's structured, the way it's contained. That was used as an example. Like if those people would be considered superheroes in that world, then they're superheroes.
I don't think they would be. Again, Lord of the Rings.
Not Lord of the Rings. That was a little different, but sure. Just this Dragon Ball, for instance. Like yes, okay. Goku, Vegeta, they're superheroes.
Sure, right. Why not? That still don't make Batman a superhero.
Batman.
Somehow this thing still comes back to.
So basically, what we're talking about is just we're just talking about DC and Marvel universe, basically. And are they considered superheroes? Who's considered superheroes? Who's not?
I mean, when you think about the word superhero, right, and how we use it and the connotation of it, the way that we generally use it, those are the characters that come to mind. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you could take Thundercats, you know what I'm saying, and say that they're superheroes, but they don't exist in a world that's supposed to mimic our own. You see what I'm saying? So like if you ask somebody to start naming superheroes, somebody says Lion-O, you might look at them funny. Yes? Again, if you bring up Goku in a conversation about superheroes, people are going to question that. Because we don't really think of them in that realm. Should Goku be considered in the superhero realm? I think so. But for whatever reason, we don't normally put him in that category. We just consider him Super Saiyan, but not superhuman because he's not human, and we don't.
Like in Japan, they don't necessarily do like the whole superheroes, like that's reserved for like a specific show. We're just like a My Hero and stuff like that. Over here, everything is kind of more black and it's a little more black and white with that. I get that, but it could be argued that characters over there are considered superheroes.
Sure, if you take One Piece as an example, if you eat a particular fruit, you get an ability that gives you abilities other people don't have. So whether you become hero or villain, you are now superhuman, or whatever, in that world. I don't know enough to know that if you went to Japan and said, hey, who are y'all superheroes? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they would say, oh, Luffy, Goku. Like, I don't know that they would start naming those characters.
All Might, Deku.
Sure. Because they give them a separate, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I completely get it.
They fall into a different genre. Like, they gotta have a certain type of outfit joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like you gotta dress the part. Like, people, I feel like, wouldn't necessarily consider Jessica Jones a superhero. Like, there was a time where she played the role. She has abilities, but generally chooses not to use them. You know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't necessarily. She tried to play dress up and join a team and do the thing, but really, she just happens to be more of a superhuman than a superhero because the hero thing is so reluctant for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she would really rather not. And you could imagine that there are a lot of people who would rather hide the fact that they have an ability in a world like that, in our own world, you know what I'm saying, than necessarily be under the pressure or under the gun or under the watchful eye because they use an ability. By definition, if we say that Bruce Wayne's money does in fact make him a superhero, then so is Donald Trump. So is Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah, but they get them hands.
Oprah might have hands, bro. She's from the hood, Slim. I don't know if you want that static. Real talk. Because Stedman still ain't put a ring on that joint. She probably like, nah, Slim, you ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's... I'm just...
I got another comment. Floyd said, If you can perform superhuman acts, even if you need equipment to do it, you're a superhero. It's not just about powers. Brains can win a battle.
You're right. But I think your brains, in fact, under that circumstance, have to be superhuman level intellect. Can't just be that you're a genius. Can't just be that you're super smart. Can't even be that you're the smartest person in the room like Bruce Wayne almost always is. Because again, anybody who puts on the Iron Man suit, then becomes the hero. It's not necessarily Tony Stark. He built it. But there are a lot, like, think about, let's just say for a minute, let's imagine that it was a different scenario, right? And let's imagine that Tony Stark was Bruce Wayne in Batman Begins. I mean, in Batman Beyond. He's the architect. He built the suit. He's Morpheus in your ear, telling you what to do, your eyes on the street or whatever. He's Oracle. But he's not in the suit. Is he then the hero? He has the genius. He's the smart one. He built the technology, but he's not in the suit. So is the person in the suit the hero, or is Tony the hero?
I'm consider him a duo.
You would consider him to be a superhero.
A superhero, like it would be a superhero team, a superhero duo. I would consider
he's on the team. Is he a superhero?
Yeah. Like I said, I would consider him
I would still consider him to be a superhero.
Like, I would consider him to be a duo. Like they need each other to do that superhero feat. They can't do it by themselves alone.
Okay. So Lucius Fox, superhero.
I don't know if that's a fair comparison.
Why not?
Because Bruce don't need him.
Yes, he does.
He don't need him like that.
Yes, he does.
He can fire him and fire somebody else. He didn't create all the stuff the Batman uses. Then Bruce Wayne found the stuff and started using it.
My man is the access to all of the stuff that Bruce didn't even know he had access to. He don't have none of that without him.
But I guess that would be the realm of
go to the movies. He ain't got no tumble.
That's what I was gonna say though. But
he didn't build that stuff himself, quote unquote. That stuff was done by other people, other techs who used his money to do it. But he ain't doing it.
So let me ask you this. So what would you consider then in that case? Because since we're bridging the movies and the comics, so
let me tell you something.
Dog, I'm telling you, this is a fight. Ellis was like, this created a Royal Rumble at a con.
I'm down.
But it's like,
let's do it. Let's do the panel.
So then here's the question then. Would you consider Batman of the comics and the Batman of the movies, would you consider one of them a superhero and one of them not a superhero in that case?
Nah, not in particular. No, not in particular. I mean, he still doesn't have any powers. He just has the money. So he has the money and he has the suit. If Bruce Wayne decided to take his money, build a suit, put somebody else in the suit, which one of them is the hero? Is the superhero? If by that
depends on the actions.
That's what
I would say. It depends on the actions at that point.
Because if he gives them the suit of the person.
Yeah, because what if he gives them the suit and then they just go run amok? I mean, granted, he probably got.
And they become a super villain. Are they then a super villain? Because even for real, even Batman's suit, and we're talking just regular base Batman suit, doesn't. I mean, it's got Kevlar. Like it doesn't have anything super about the suit itself. He has a bunch of gadgets he uses, but the suit itself don't do nothing super.
Everybody just thinks you hate Batman. At the end of the day,
I don't hate Batman. I love Batman because Batman puts on the suit and goes out there and bangs with people who got powers he know he don't have. But really, he's there more to just try to keep them in check and keep an eye on them than he is to really, there's a threat. He's trying to keep the threat down, but for real, he just building case files against people. That's what the facts are. This isn't specifically, look, Oliver Queen ain't no superhero. Y'all want to talk about him instead? He ain't no superhero.
Oh man, now he's trying to open up a can of worms here.
That dude's a hero. He's just not a superhero because he don't have.
What do you mean?
He don't have no.
But he's just like Batman. He got at a point. If we do comic Oliver Queen, he got money, so he can do the same. He can do the same thing that Batman can do.
He can. He didn't.
That was a choice, but he still can do it.
Like Rob said, we're getting into like, we should be keeping, I think, movies, TV, comics all separate. Because like with that, I'm thinking right now, like with Oliver Queen.
That's why I've been splitting this up the same way, because it's like if that's the case, like
because I would consider CW's Oliver Queen a superhero.
Well, why?
And for the Earths, he saved all the Earths. Like he's the core one. Like,
I'm not asking you what he did. I'm asking you what superhuman abilities he has. I'm not saying. Look, I'm not saying. Let's say there was a catastrophe on this planet right now. Like the one man or one man who is responsible for coming up with the cure for coronavirus for COVID-19, hero. If you make a movie about it, maybe superhero. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There are people who do fantastical things that maybe have saved the planet that we don't even know about. Not with superhuman ability. Again.
Rob asks, what Batman stories are you basing your thoughts off of? He's curious. Ella said he's just basing off the Christian Bale movies.
I hate them. Them joints weak. Actually, Batman Begins is dope. Nah, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, look, Batman, just like almost every other major character, has been retconned and rewritten multiple times. Origin is almost the same, but is redone multiple times. It doesn't really matter where you pull him from. He doesn't have any superhuman abilities for real at all. We can say it, like I've joked about it, like, nah, Slim's a ninja, he can disappear. But he doesn't actually disappear, you know what I'm saying? He has a utility belt that has everything in it, which that might be magic, and we don't know it, you know what I'm saying? But that's it. Oliver, like, Hawkeye's a superhero, right? You put Hawkeye and Oliver Queen on the same level? Comics or not?
I mean, Hawkeye ain't got that money. I mean, I don't know about that Avengers salary going on.
But he's backed by Shield, and Shield got money.
Yeah, but he got to get authorization to use them coins.
But he be going off and doing stuff and don't be getting authorization.
Yeah.
Is James Bond a superhero?
I mean, he's got a heightened combat. I don't know what you want to.
Does he have a heightened combat?
But no.
Nah, he gets his ass kicked. Nah. Never mind. No, he gets his ass kicked.
No. I would say I would call Bond a hero.
I would say Jason Bourne is a superhero. He's built though. It's like they did something to him. He's like broke man's Captain America.
Yeah, but...
well, they did something to him.
Yeah.
I like Jason Bourne.
I wouldn't call Bourne. I don't know if I would call Bourne a superhero.
Okay,
I gotta go back and rewatch the movies. I don't know. I gotta go back and see everything he did.
Is Dom from the Fast and the Furious a superhero?
Yes.
Why do you do that? His ability is like when you talk about family, then everything kicks in, the adrenaline kicks in.
Watch what happens.
Nah, but you got to mention family. If you don't mention family, he's useless.
Hey, savage.
Hey, listen. I wouldn't say so. Barbara Gordon, Oracle, versus Barbara Gordon, Batgirl. If you never knew Barbara Gordon was Batgirl at one time, would you say that Barbara Gordon, Oracle, was a superhero?
Yeah, we go right. Superhero.
So if Bruce Wayne provides the stuff to somebody else, is Bruce Wayne a superhero?
Not providing to somebody else. If he's in their ear, like communicating and talking with them.
That's what Oracle does, and she does it for Batman. Why does Batman get a Morpheus?
He was doing it before her. I think he was doing it before her.
So
he wasn't doing nothing, but oh god,
still failing without her in his ear.
You really don't want Batman to be a superhero, do you?
Yeah, listen,
he does not.
listen. I'm
Really
just saying
don't.
because look, it isn't about. Again, you can put anybody in Batman suit, and what they can do in the suit might be different from what he can do in the suit, right? And so they might not be able to be considered quote unquote superhero because of the feats that they will perform while they're wearing the suit. You could even say, to some extent, that Batman could perform some of what he does without the suit. Iron Man, you put anybody in that joint, they can do what he does. All they gotta know is how it
No,
works.
I'm not gonna say that. I feel that the
Why?
same way, just like Batman suit.
So
Like,
Pepper Potts in the rescue joint, she not a superhero? Because if not, then Iron
Hey,
Man not a superhero.
she can do. You know, she.
Rhodey, Rhodey
anybody,
inside his suit, superhero.
I would think so, just
yeah,
as much Iron
yeah,
Man.
Sure.
I mean, even
That's
else.
yeah.
but that's okay. But that's my point. So, but it's the suit.
And it's the person along with it.
I feel like outside of that
But
suit,
Pepper Potts.
Rhodey most certainly can be a superhero. Like in
But
his
Pepper
Yeah,
like
Potts.
what
but what has Pepper Potts done in Rescue to be qualified as a superhero besides just having the suit? Like the other two have been
Look it up,
the
bro.
face
She
and
ain't
all
just
that
have a
stuff.
suit. She got a name. She
Yeah,
out there doing shit. What you mean?
So
What
we're
do you
using
mean?
right.
movies to
But
excuse
here's the
it.
thing. I can only base it off of my knowledge, and that is the movies, because I've not read the comic books with her being that in it.
I mean, that's cool and all, but she wasn't called Rescue in the.
Oh,
I'm
but
just saying what she
Right?
was in the.
oh
But
no.
she helped save the world. So if the
Okay.
suit,
So okay.
if
So
the
it's
suit can
all right. She
qualify,
can have it since
if
she did upsave the
outside of the
world.
suit you're not a superhero, but inside of the suit you can be. Somehow we have to separate the idea of hero from superhero. What is the thing that separates somebody if they're a hero from being a superhero? What do you have to do or be in order to get the super moniker added to your hero moniker?
It's got to be something like I think we've all said this in different forms, but the same thing. It's like some feat that you do that is just not. It's just not a norm type thing. It's not a
Yeah,
standard.
it's not a hero feat. You have so you have saved the world from being destroyed. You have stopped the city from being nuked.
James
Like
Bond. James
so,
Bond, who we just said is not a superhero, who
So then
has
he's a
saved the world
superhero.
plenty of times.
Then in that case, he's a
So is he a
superhero.
I don't think the
superhero?
definition was that. Plus, your you have some type of you push your body like like you're just not like a normal. You're like a superhuman specimen almost, like
But
athletes that
you
we
just said the
see
word
and stuff like
super.
that.
That's what my point is.
But I
That's
was
my
using that
point.
just to describe it,
I know, but
not use that as the exact word.
that's my point. Like if you take that person's attributes and you describe their attribute, if their attributes don't qualify as superhuman, that to me is the dividing line. So if you said if you look up Tony Stark's bio and it says Tony Stark has superhuman intellect, sure, superhero. If he simply has heightened or above average or genius level intellect, that does not necessarily make him a superhero because it means that there are other people that are at that same level that don't get super, even if they've done something heroic. So if you have superhuman strength, meaning that you can do more than any normal human could do, and that's even pushing yourself beyond limits as opposed to having heightened strength or heightened, like they use monikers like that specifically when they describe the abilities of a character. If you look at their bios, they'll say stuff like heightened such and such ability, like heightened sight, heightened breathing, whatever it is, right? But they might not say superhuman level. So if you're not superhuman level, if you don't have actual abilities that can't be performed without that, you not Nah, superhero. Listen.
Caveats with that can come into place. Like people can, if you're regular, you can exercise, you can train and go get senseis and stuff like that to help push that. If you don't have it, like you were bestowed like the hammer or whatever, like okay, now I have this thing, let me start learning. Let me try. Like you can grow into that. I think it's with some of that stuff.
Okay.
You can
I
go into
wouldn't say you can't. I wouldn't say you can't grow into the status.
Yeah, I think you absolutely can grow into the status.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you can't. Grow into. Look, when Spider-Man got superhuman abilities, he didn't go be a hero. He went to go make money. My man was like, I'm about to West, finna get these whips, get these youngins. You understand what I'm saying? Uh-oh. My man just said, I split out. I'm out.
What?
Yeah, lost your video.
Okay, I don't know what that was for a second.
You're back.
He wasn't a hero. He had superhuman abilities, but he wasn't a hero. Took a tragedy to make him a hero, but then he's a superhero because he has the superhuman abilities. He can do things other people can't do. He didn't necessarily have to be. He could have stopped the dude that shot his uncle, even if he wasn't a superhero. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't have to have super abilities to do it. He could have just trip slammed. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Ellis said you just wanted to say super and Spider-Man in the same sentence.
Hey, listen.
And he also said that's not sweet tea in that cup, by the way.
Nah, it's half and half. You know what I'm saying? Listen. Luke Cage, superhero. Everybody on the Defenders team, superhero. I don't really like any of them. I think they're all fluke. I don't care about none of them. But they qualify. You know what I'm saying? Like, they qualify. Killer Moth, not a super villain. Just a villain. I'm just saying, like,
Moth is. I'm about to look them up.
You never heard of Killer Moth?
No, but probably because they're fluke.
It's one of Batman's dudes. It's one of Batman's guys.
No, sir.
Flamethrower.
Helmet. He is some trash. Yeah. Oh no, let's go back to the stream. Good lord.
Yeah, he's some
No, sir.
Oh god. In summary, I love Spider-Man. Batman is trash.
Who said that?
Ellis. Oh god.
Nah, hey, listen. Batman is a beast. Period. Like, on facts. I'm a captain of a team, picking my team to save the world. Batman's on my team. Might even be first pick. Period. He's on my team. But if he asked me himself, like, do you consider me a superhero? No, sir. No, sir.
And that's when he walks off the team.
That's cute. That's cute. He can leave the team. I think he will respect how I feel about it, though. He would just be like, I'd just be like, nah, you're not a superhero, but you the dude I need. You the man for the job. You know what I'm saying? And I need you to tell all the rest of these Bammers what to do. I'm with it.
Superhero.
Slim's actually a terrible leader, but it is what it is. I'm just saying.
I have very strong feelings.
You said you have very strong feelings?
This is something that will be revisited in the future. Because the comments are great right now.
No, whenever we can get back to a con, this is a panel here.
Oh, fact.
This is.
Oh, fact.
We're gonna have to have security. We're gonna have to have security because there's gonna be some fights. Like,
they only gonna be chasing me, I guess.
Rob is in there. He got questions.
What's up, man? Hey. Give my man Rob some floor time. What he talking about, man?
Gotta scroll back.
It's a long scroll back. Last time I looked at the comments. Coming. Last time I looked at the comments, it was 60. Now we're up to 94. So I'm like,
I mean, listen, I'm with it. That's cool.
Yeah, when was the last time you read a Batman comic?
Lord Jesus, can you just give me an example of what it is you're talking about? Are you getting ready to give me an example of when
money don't have a damn thing to do with it?
What don't have nothing to do with it?
He said money don't have a damn thing to do with it.
He said it himself.
So okay, so since we use a movie, so how about what your deciding factor be? Maybe if we get the Snyder cut, then you wanted to base your thing on Batman.
First of all, Zack Snyder, Superman, Slim, weak. Hey, listen. Let me tell you something. If you go DC animated universe, right, in Justice League War, when him and Green Lantern first meet, and Green Lantern's asking him all this stuff like, "Hey, so you can do this, right? And you can do this, right? You can do," and he like, nah, and he's just like,
"I can't do none of that.
Please don't tell me you just a regular dude in a suit."
Dude in a suit,
because he knows that's all he is. He's just a regular dude in a suit. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that was funny.
Doesn't change the fact that less than 30 seconds after that, he pulled this Bama's ring off his finger and he didn't even know it.
Didn't even know it.
Hey, Rob said, "I'll call in if I can right now."
Hey, we gotta get a number. Hey, listen, Rob. I just want to know what superhuman ability you would like to imbue him with. That's all. I'm not saying he's not a hero. I'm not saying he's not dope. I'm just saying technically he doesn't qualify as a superhero. Like if it was part of somebody's job to give out bonuses to the superheroes, Slim don't get one. That's all. And he don't need it anyway because he already got a bunch of super money. He got super money. Is that?
Oh man. Oh man!
Because I'm clearly for superhero, clearly for that superhero, Batman. What do you stand?
Huh?
I stand as him being a superhero.
Okay.
I stand as him being a superhero.
Okay.
Hey, listen. I guess we're gonna have to revisit this.
This is part 1, so we can.
I guess we didn't definitively decide anything.
No, we didn't.
I know how I feel.
Yes, you do. Spider-Man awesome. Batman sucks.
Nah. No. That's not what I said.
Oh,
I didn't even say, hey, you remember saying when we was having that conversation about like it was that joint you had to pick, one of them was gonna protect you, and everybody else had to. You remember me saying, matter of fact, you remember me having a conversation with you when I really thought about it, and the reason why I was like, hey, they just like made Batman OP, and it's fluke that they made him OP, but they only did it to so that he could live up to what the rest of the people around him do. Because I was like, I really was thinking about it hard, and I was like, damn, if Batman and Spider-Man had to fight, Batman would actually probably win that joint, which is completely fluke.
I remember that.
But I give it to him. He would win that joint. I don't know of a scenario that I could really put Batman in and he would actually lose the joint. And the only person who really ever came close to truly doing it was Red Hood.
Just seeing some meme going around with Batman and they putting up against like 5 people from Naruto. And like, now, do you think they do? Like, do you think it was a bunch of badass people from Naruto? And it was like, if you think he had 25 with prep, could he beat all these people? Like, and like you fight him this round? I was like, you know what? Realistically, no. But I have a feeling Batman will.
He will. He'll probably still. He'll still Kakashi's eye, and then he'll go have a ball.
It was like Itachi and Obito, and I was like, no, like, but whatever. It was just
his utility belt got something for every one of them. He has a plan laid out for every single one of them in their utility belt.
Yeah, it's things like that are completely fluke that make him seem superhuman when he's not. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like I said, I gotta let me get the hanging upside down spray out of my utility belt. I'm gonna spray these ropes. We good. That's
Rob said if Batman got prep time, he wins 99% of the time.
I listen. I agree. 24 hours is not enough for him to beat 5 people from Naruto universe. No, sir. No,
Oh
sir.
God! Now we're spilling over into
Next.
Naruto universe.
See, but
Like,
this is the thing.
That's for another time.
But
That's
this
for
is the
another
thing.
time.
This is what would happen in an actual comic book scenario where they did that. This is what would happen. Batman has 24 hours to prep for this fight with these 5 characters from the Naruto universe. Turns out, Batman has been aware of their universe for the past 16 years. Just in case they ever invaded Earth. You understand what I'm saying? It's that kind of BS. Man. It's that fluke, but that's what would happen. He would win the battle. He would win
He's the real reason. He's the real reason Donzo had all them Sharingans in his arm. He's been keeping an eye on everybody through them eyes and Donzo's arm.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, Batman been tapped in. He been knew. You know what I'm saying? What was going on. However, keep in mind, Amanda Waller, like got his number. Just walk up to my man in full outfit like, what up, rich boy? Superhuman intellect isn't even a thing. It's people on his level. That's what I'm saying.
So wait, are you gonna put Amanda Waller in this conversation in that case?
Listen, real talk. Amanda Waller doesn't have his money, but she has resources similar to his. But she got to use a bunch of other people to try to do the same things that he does because she don't got his money. It ain't like she don't got the knowledge base. If she knows who he is, she got to know about as much as he knows. About the people he knows about. Yes? Correct. So, put Amanda Waller in the bat suit. Let her go to town.
She get dog. She would get dog.
I bet you Waller got hands.
Yeah, but she would get dog.
She might buy who though? By Bruce?
By the Joker.
You stupid.
The Joker?
I mean,
the Riddler will body her.
You dumb. You real dumb. You real dumb for that one. You know what I'm saying? He got a weapon though. You know, I'm just look. If we gotta keep dealing with Batman, and we do, because he is the peak non-powered hero. Correct? If you think about any heroes, when you do a lineup, if you was picking top 10 quote-unquote superheroes, he's going to be on the list, and he's probably in the top 3. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. Top 3.
I don't know about that, but facts.
Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the people that people think of, if you ask them to name superheroes, he's going to be in that list. There's no two ways about it. But he's not actually super. And if not for the Arrowverse, Green Arrow would not get a mention.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
So Batman would be the only person, the only character without actual superhuman abilities that would make anybody's top 10 superhero list. Would you agree with that?
Okay, he gonna make it.
Would anybody person that technically doesn't have powers? Nah. So he's gonna be the prime example. Because there's not a lot of quote-unquote superheroes who don't have powers. But there are other people besides Batman that play those roles, like a Hawkeye, like a Green Arrow. They don't get the same play. Green Arrow got money. He ain't got his money, though, clearly. He doesn't have the same resources with said money to do what he did. Iron Man might fall in that category. Iron Man might make a top 10 superhero list and as a person who doesn't actually have any superpowers. Like no superhuman anything on his actual checklist. Iron Man, I think, is maybe the only other person that you would say is there. But again, I feel like we kind of came to an agreement that the suit itself imbues you with ability.
Definitely.
So the man himself, not necessarily the superhero. Hero for stepping in. But he ain't stepping in without the suit.
Oh, Cap tried to challenge that one.
Straight up. Told my man, hey, go put the suit on. I'll body you. Go put the suit on. You want to go? Go put the suit on. That's one of the best movies in all MCU, best moments in all MCU history, right there. That was the start of Civil War, right there. So early,
right there before I even knew it.
That was where it started, right there. I don't think either one of them ever forgot that. That joint was straight up it.
Like, remember when you told me to put the suit on?
Right.
Let's do this.
Coulson the superhero?
Oh, Coulson superhero. Hey, was the Coulson, we wouldn't have the Avengers. So hey,
I'm just saying. Nick Fury superhero?
I think he's what do we consider him?
I'm going no, but okay. I'm saying he don't have no abilities. He's trying to pull people in that have abilities he don't have to deal with that stuff. That's the whole point.
Hey, maybe his ability is that coercing people to do stuff for him. Maybe that's his ability.
Listen, pull up
you gonna do this, Rom?
And if it says superhuman coercion entity, then yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because if he got superhuman coercion, he's Purple Man.
That was or facts.
Come on, man. Hey, listen. Here's my favorite thing about this. For all of what anybody can say about how they feel one way or the other, where you feel like somebody falls, all I would ask is that you list the criteria that you feel like makes a character qualified. For me, I personally think technically to qualify for a superhero, you have to have a superhuman ability. That's it. That's not taken away from the accomplishments that the person has. It's not taken away from what they've done. It's not taking away from what they're capable of. You know what I'm saying? It is, though, taking away the super status that goes along with hero. Because there are people who I think you could take Gotham City and I guarantee you could find a police officer. You could actually say that Gordon, if Gordon had the money that Bruce Wayne had, that dude would put on the suit and do that job. Because he doesn't do that, you don't consider him a superhero. Nobody would list Commissioner Gordon as a superhero, period. But that dude got just as much get up and go, we got to save the planet, I will go against protocol, as Batman does, as Bruce Wayne does, period. But he doesn't have the resources to do it. But he would do it if you gave him the resources. Therefore,
that's facts.
Meaning that there is definite, real evidence that Batman, Bruce Wayne, by the fact that he has the money to get the resources to do the things that he does, is a hero, but not necessarily a superhero. Because it is his resources that allow him. That includes all of his training, all the knowledge he acquired of the criminal underworld or whatever. That's all stuff. If you pick an origin story for him and run through how he became what he became, how he learned what he learned, it was access to those things that gave him the options to do what he does. Could he make the same attempts without the money? Absolutely. Put Gordon in the Batsuit. Can he then do what Bruce Wayne does in the Batsuit? No. But that's because Bruce Wayne had the ability to get the training because he had the money to do it. You can't just put anybody in the suit and therefore make them, you understand what I'm saying? But if you take the money away and the time, right? Because I've been at this figuring and the time, right? Because I've been at this figuring this out since I was 8. You know what I'm saying? Ever since my folks got killed in front of me, I've been at it. I've been doing this. I've been working on this. His motivations aren't necessarily any bigger or better than any other person. There are people who I guarantee you would be in Gotham City, on the police department, in the fire department, in the military who would do the same thing and have the same motivations don't have the resources. My man's a dope hero, though. My man's dope, though.
He's an amazing superhero.
Stop it. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? That's where your mic should have acted up.
That's why I didn't.
I know. I know. Hey, look. By all means, feel free in the comments. You know what? On my page. I don't care. Tag me directly. Don't matter to me.
They're already there.
Oh, if you're gonna tag him, you gotta tag us too, because this.
I'm just saying. Give me what your actual definition is of a superhero. What qualifies a character to be a superhero? And then give me like a list of like 4. You know what I'm saying? Characters that you feel like meet it. And chances are the only person that be in that list that ain't got powers to be Iron Man and Batman. And then I just go in the joint and tell you why that's not right. But it's
we're gonna have to get you a security detail, sir, because you sir about to have.
Hey, listen, I would film this joint as an unpopular opinion, but we can't. You know what I mean? Like it's
already one right here.
I feel like there's like 5 unpopular opinions within the one.
Oh, there's a bunch of them. Yeah.
So
I can see a sequel happening.
We should actually reconvene and try to come up. We'll take what people are saying. We'll look at what criteria people put and list. We as a team, we yay to nay. We'll just say, all right, yep, we feel like this works. We feel like this doesn't. Let's just make a decision. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
we didn't get to a decision this time.
Seems like veto power coming back here.
So the question is still up in the air.
I came to a decision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you did, and we came to a different one.
I feel like, truthfully, what I had to say was quite convincing. I know people are upset about it. Doesn't change the fact that it's convincing, because most of it is just like, nah, but he's Batman. So what? We already established that. That's all. That's all.
All right.
I'm just. Oh yeah, Batgirl not a superhero. Robin not either. Well, Damian Wayne, I feel like Slim got some powers. Slim got powers, man. I don't know what's going on with Slim. You know what I'm saying? You're a beast though. Anyway, I love y'all. We need to wrap this up. We way over, but we had a good time, did we not?
Yeah, we did. We sure did.
And Rob just said he's officially inviting us to do a live show at his comic shop to have a discussion.
Hey, listen, I'm down. Listen, put me on the grumpy old man joint. You know what I'm saying? And we can have the discussion. I really do think it's a dope discussion to have. I'd be willing to do it anytime. And I think that if we do this and we really do it at a panel when cons come back, we gotta have Rob.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Bring the comic logic love and come do the panel with us.
Absolutely.
I dig it.
Absolutely. That'd be dope.
All right. Let's wrap it up, y'all. This has been Loading Snacks Weekly Extended Edition. Live Start Something Edition. Let's get the crowd round up edition. Tie Tuesday edition.
Good curveball. Good curveball this week. Really good one.
Hey, listen. I told you it was going to take up more of the show.
It was good curveball.
Twice the length of the show. I'm Gage. Jokes. Wave to the people.
Yep.
Sin. Wave to the people because people can't hardly hear you. We gotta get
check.
Microphone or something. There it is. Check. Listen, we love y'all. Make sure you follow us across all social platforms and feel free to hit me up and tag me if you are upset with me.
Please.
It is okay. It really is okay. I'm totally okay with that. With that, we're out. Toodles and loos. What it do, snackers and snackettes? Did you like what you just saw? Would you like to help us grow? Here's what you can do. Shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform of choice. Appreciate you.